On behalf of your host, Steve D, this is Bruce Buffer saying thank you for tuning in to Xtreme Lyfe. And now, this is the moment Xtreme Lyfe fans around the world have been waiting for. It's time!
Hey everybody, this is Steve D, XtremeLyfe.com, Xtreme Lyfe Podcast. Today's guest is Tennil Reed-Beuerlein. I've known Tennil for a while. She is a 7-time regional athlete, Crossfit Games regional athlete, and a 3-time Crossfit Games athlete. Amazing competitor, amazing person, just incredible to have her on the show. I'm glad she decided to come on. And she'll be joining me in just a minute. We're going to talk about all kinds of things. We're going to talk about what it is to train for the CrossFit Games, what it feels like to get to the CrossFit Games, what the diet has to be, how many calories you need to put in. I mean, all the workings of going into getting to the Games. A lot of people are very, want to know what it takes, and she talks about the tremendous effort that it takes for a person to get to the CrossFit Games. I mean, you literally have to eat, sleep, and just think games all the time in order to get there, which is, a level of commitment that many people would love to be able to have, but don't have that. A lot of, for one reason or another, maybe we don't have that kind of time to dedicate. Maybe it's just, there's a whole bunch of reasons why, and then can your body handle that type of training 8 hours a day, most days of the week, and then when you're not training, you're in recovery from training, and then you're eating. Tennil talks about all that stuff, which is amazing. For 7 years, that was her life, the CrossFit Games. She stopped she took a break, by her own words, to have a baby. But it sounds like we might be seeing her again at some point in the near future. So Tennil, is a great guest. So I hope you enjoy the show. Stay tuned. Here you go.
Can you see me? No, you can't. Okay, maybe now?
Now I can see you.
All right.
How are you?
Oh, man. It's
busy, right? I am so sorry about all the confusion.
That's all right.
Yeah.
That's all right. It happens. Where are you at?
I am in New Jersey.
Okay.
So, yeah, it was... I thought for some reason that we were 3 hours ahead of you, and turns
I guess
out
not.
Only 2. So I'm thinking, I was at the gym actually working out, and I'm, thinking, okay, I got time. And then all of a sudden I was just leaving, and then you text messaged me saying, I'm online. So I was like, oops.
If we had to, we could have just pushed it to the next day.
I know, but it's all right. It's not a big deal. I wanted to just get you on, and I'm so glad you decided to come on, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, sure.
Definitely. So how have you been? It's been a long time.
Where do I even start with that question? I'm good. I'm really loving life right now. Got my little man.
Yeah. So a lot, we both trained for, you trained with OPEX for a long time, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if are you still with OPEX, or have you?
Well, my coach no longer works there anymore, but I still go and work out there.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Cause, I was, I think 2015 when I first met you there, or maybe 16, I don't even know. But it was like somewhere in the line of when you were really like making the games every year, and then you're a 7-time, just if I can elaborate on you a little bit, you're a 7-time regional athlete, right?
Yeah, I have to
correct me.
I'm not even sure how many times I've been to regionals.
Well, that's how you know.
I stopped counting.
That's how you know what a great athlete you are, because You know, I'd be sitting here going, hey, I've been to regionals this many times. I know exactly, you know, I know my times on every workout, you know, that kind of stuff. And you're just like, I don't even know how many times I've been there. But, you know, definitely a 3-time games athlete, which is amazing. Yeah. That's incredible. So I just want to kind of go back a little bit. So your first time at the games was 16.
Yeah.
What was it like to make the games? Because, you know, I mean, I talk to people all the time, and that's like the gold standard. Everybody wants to get to the games. I mean, some people are just flat out delusional about it. Other people are, you know, hey, you know, if they work hard enough, they'll get there. Hey, I'm lumping myself in on that too, because I made runs for it too, and I'm like, yeah, I'm nowhere near it. But how what is it like getting to? I mean, you know, you work that hard. You've been to regionals. I think you were at regionals like 4 times prior to that, and just kind of outside the games range. And then all of a sudden, you're making it to the games in 16. What does that feel like?
Yeah, it's amazing. Because let's see, 2013. I was just thinking about it while you're talking. 2013, I went on a team to regionals. I should have went individual, but I ended up going with this team.
Okay.
And then 2014 regionals, 2015 regionals, and then 16 I made it.
Yeah.
So technically I went 3 times as an individual before I made it. And my whole goal was just to make it to the games. Kind of like you were just talking. The games is like the ultimate thing.
Has to be your life.
Exactly. And when I made it and got to go, I mean, it was like, I cried at the finish line because I was just like, I knew I had done it. And I was so excited that I had finally made it. And
so at what point in regionals did you know, I don't mean to cut you off, but what point in the regionals did you know you had gotten there?
Oh, well, the very, very last workout, because I think I was like tied for 6th or 5th or something like that at regionals. And I went into that last workout, and honestly, like, my head was going back and forth. I'm like, I can't do this. Oh no, you can do this. You can do this. Let's go. And then
so you doubt yourself at times.
Yeah, I was, because the workout was a legless rope climb workout. And year before, I had done the one that was like 10 legless rope climbs, and the girls that were in the heat with me had like crushed me in that workout.
Yeah, yeah.
So I knew that I was up against like girls that were like seriously good at that. And then I don't know, I must have gotten a lot better, because I finished that workout and I remember just looking over and seeing that I think I was like the 2nd person to cross the line, but I just knew that doing that well in that workout would push me into the qualifying spot.
Yeah, you were in points range at that point, and then you beat people that you needed to beat.
Exactly. And so I just started crying because I knew that I had made it, and it was just like the best feeling in the world. And it was like that moment that I had always like thought about, and I had finally done it, and it was just like, it was even better than I had imagined.
Incredible, right? And I'm sure a lot of people were supportive of that, and really kind of, I mean, it's got to be an incredible feeling, because that means you're like in, I forget what the percentage is. It's like 0.001% or something like that of people in the world that are, we had 200,000 people compete in the Open, and then
that region, I mean, I had to go do that in Salt Lake. And when you compete at a higher elevation, I know people say that doesn't do anything to you, but it definitely does something to me. And so I was already nervous about it on top with that. And then that was the year that they threw in strict muscle ups. And I had never done a strict muscle up when they announced that. I was feeling so prepared. And then they said that, and I was like, oh, crap. I did so terrible. I did so terrible in that workout, but luckily I did good enough in the other ones to bring me back up. So,
well, that's the awesome thing about CrossFit, right? You get into these, you can't be like a very one-sided athlete.
No.
and do well. You literally have to. You're taking me for a walk.
I turned the fan on. I'm getting hot in here.
Oh, great. Because it's about 30 here. So I'm just telling you.
Ugh,
Yeah, it's cold.
that's terrible.
Yeah, New Jersey this time of year, January, February, March is just an awful time to be. Outside doesn't exist. I want to be out there. But yeah, I mean, there's so much there as far as, you get to regionals, you go to regionals and you do so well. And then you get to the games and it's just like, what does it feel like? Like you're there, you get there and what's going through your mind? I mean, you're at the games, you're standing 2 feet away from Rich Froning and all these other people that are just like legends in CrossFit. And you're the new kid on the block.
Well, I think that once I qualified for the games, it was kind of like, okay, I did what my goal was, but I had to like reevaluate, I'd be like, okay, now what do I want now? Like, what do I want to do at the games? And I remember my coach sitting me down and being like, are you going just to go or are you going to compete?
Are you going to win?
I'm like, screw that. I want to do the best I can do,
Yeah.
So I remember I trained so hard for that first year and I wanted to get in the top 10. I ended up getting 11th, but it lit a fire in me. After that, I was like, okay, I don't want to just go to the games. Like, I want to win the games. And that's why I ended up going a few more times because it changed me. The experience changed me. Getting to the games wasn't good enough anymore.
Yeah. Because that's the thing. I mean, you hear a lot of people say, I want to get to the games, get to the games, get to the games. Okay, then what?
Yeah.
That's the question. So say you get there.
Exactly.
And that's exactly where your coach was probably going there is, all right, are you satisfied with this? Or do you want to go there and actually try to take this thing and win it? And then the following year, you took sixth place in the games, which is freaking amazing.
Thank you.
And you ended up, I think you won the obstacle course event, if I remember.
Oh, that was the best. I loved that. That event is so fun.
An event well, I remember I was actually there spectating in Madison that year. And I remember, that obstacle course, and I remember looking at it. I remember going, because that's my background. I was an OCR athlete before I came to Open. That's what I did. I did all that stuff, and a big, long-time Spartan race athlete, all that stuff. Cool. I've done a lot of more of those than, I think 2015, I ran like 26 races.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, it was ridiculous, but that was my most prolific year. But, I remember looking at that event and going, oh, God, I just want to go run that. I want to go run it because I know, I was like, I know I would do good at this. Every other event, when you get into the heavy snatches, things like that, people would kill me. But when I got that event, I think I probably would do well.
Yeah, that's funny. That's how I felt when I saw it. I was like, oh, my gosh, I want to do that so bad.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was looking at. I was looking at the net. I'm like, oh, man, I'd flip that net. I would, But, like I said, that's one event. And that's what I get back to. You can't be that one-sided athlete. I was actually just talking to an MMA friend of mine. Because even in MMA, because I'm way more involved in more than CrossFit at this point in MMA. And, when you get into that world, you're like, you can't be the one-sided fighter anymore either. You got to have a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
So same thing.
Because people are so good. You can't just be good at one thing anymore.
Nope. You can't you can't come in there and say, okay, I'm an Olympic lifter.
Yeah.
I think I'm picking up radio signals or something here. I don't know what's going on. I'm hearing stuff in my headset. But, you can't be just an Olympic lifter and go to the CrossFit Games. It's just not going to happen. I'm sure you're heavyweight. And you might see that a lot of times in local competitions. People do well if they can really push up the weight. But that's what it's about. You got to have all three of those working components,
Totally.
The three-headed monster, I think, it's referred to.
At a really good competition, they'll have workouts laid out that can show every single side of fitness so that it is fair and all around, and the all around fittest person will win.
And that's what you got to look for. But so what does training look like? All right, so you go into the Open, right? And so you're coming into Open season.
Mhm.
Neil Reed, what are you doing at that point when open season? Let's say you're 2 months out from open, right?
Yeah.
What are you doing at that point?
Well, it depends on the year, because my first year I would be training hardcore for regionals.
Mhm.
But by my last year, before the open even happened, I was already training for games stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it progressed as the years went on. You weren't even really focused on the open.
No, the open, I mean, I would do the open workouts and already have done a full day of training.
Okay.
Like those were like just good practice, I guess. It was just a good workout on top of what all the other stuff I was doing. It wasn't like something that I was like, okay, I'm going to rest 2 days. I'm going to warm up for this stuff. Like, it was like, I finished some other workouts and the coach was like, okay, get the camera out. Let's do this. And then we're going to move on to this and this.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was just part of the workout day, right? It's the open. And
then regionals, back when it was an awesome thing.
I miss regional. I'm just going to go out there and say I miss regionals. I miss going to, check out everything at regionals and just, it's a shame it's gone.
Okay, so regionals was always so hard for me because they did a lot of like gymnastic stuff. The games, I always knew I'd be better at the games because it has a lot of outdoor things, odd objects, stuff like that. That's more my jam.
Yeah.
But I still miss regional. It was fun, but changes. I knew the sport would evolve somehow.
Oh yeah.
It was just shocking when regionals did go away, because you're just so used to doing the same thing. But
yeah, well, it becomes a part of what the routine is, right? Even for people who spectate, there's a lot of people who are spectating going, oh man, now what are we going to watch,
Yeah.
And then the open, with them kind of changing that up a little bit with the announcements and stuff, that's a little strange as well now. So it's kind of a weird transitionary period, I think, for CrossFit, where it's going to go. Hopefully it finds its set path and stays there for a while, because it's hard to maintain, in my opinion. It's hard to maintain if you're changing here. What's that?
Sorry, you were cutting out a little bit, but no, I was just gonna say that I was already planning to try to have a baby after that year.
Yeah.
But I think after that got announced, a lot of people also decided to have a baby. there are so many CrossFit girls that are having babies right now.
Yeah, because of the changes. Because it's just like people.
No, I'm not saying it's because of the changes, but I'm like, there's got to be something that made all these girls be like, all right, now's a good time.
Yeah. Well, I guess because maybe it's the instability of CrossFit right now, and I'm not saying they're in trouble in any way, shape, or form. I don't think they are, but I think maybe it's just the fact that things changed so much, so drastically, so fast. People just figure, okay, since they're changing, things might as well change for me too. Maybe
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just me looking on from the outside, but like, I feel like it might be easier to make it to the games now.
Okay.
There's like, there used to only be 40.
Yeah.
Now there's like 100 and something.
Oh yeah. Most of which wouldn't make it in the old. There's a lot of people going that, and I'm not going to say it shouldn't be there. I'm just saying that it's really strange seeing people that come in so far down the line getting to the games now, and even people like petitioning to go and getting it.
Well, that's why I say that it feels to me like it's easier now, but I mean, I haven't tried, so I don't know.
Yeah. Speaking of that, are there any plans to get back into that groove, or are you just kind of like, or?
Well, some days I'm like, but some days I'm like, oh, I got to start training for this, like, I don't know. I go back and forth because right now I'm still, my body's still healing from having the baby.
Yeah.
So I couldn't really train hard right now anyways. So I think I think I'm just giving myself time to figure out where my heart is.
Yeah.
Because you literally have to like
give everything. Yeah.
Everything has to be all about that.
Yeah.
And when you have a baby, I think you realize like that life isn't all about just CrossFit anymore.
Yeah. No, it's just something else. I mean,
I feel like I love CrossFit, obviously.
Yeah.
I dedicated my life to it for so many years. And I still do it when I do work out, but I just feel like a baby gives you a different perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And now when I think about CrossFit, it involves him and him being at the gym with me and what that's going to look like. And I'm slowly figuring that out with him and how I can train with him. And I think that's all part of it, though. I think that's part of like having a child and adjusting to how that's going to be. And I mean, I've already done some workouts that I'm like, okay, that felt so good. Like, I cannot wait to push myself harder, Like, I miss it. Like, I think I really needed this little break because it was getting to the point where I was feeling like, oh, I have to go do this. I have to go do that. I have to do this workout. I really don't want to do that workout. And like, I found myself recently, like, volunteering to do like the worst workouts. And I'm like,
maybe something wrong with you.
This is so not like the old, like normal. Yeah. Like,
well, that's because you're not grinding like you were. I think you took that break, and now you're like, okay, now it's all new again. What's old is new.
Exactly. Right? And now I feel like more refreshed and just like I want to do that. I want to be at the gym. I want to push myself hard. It doesn't feel forced anymore. Because I think those 7 years of just like grinding so hard, I had aches and pains in my body that like have gone away now. And like I just feel a lot better.
Yeah.
So, and I'm happier too because I have my little guy and I don't know. It's just, I feel like that break was like really needed for me. And I told my husband just the other night, I was like, you know what? If I start feeling better and my body's like healing up and I slowly start coming back from it, like maybe I will try to hit a qualifier right before the games and see if I can get in,
Well, you got to let me know before you do that because I see what Tennil Reed got to bring to the Tennil Reed-Beuerlein. I'm sorry, I'm getting used to that. But Tennil Reed-Beuerlein coming back, and I would love to see. I know you're going to do great if you do that. You just, you're an intense athlete. I've seen you in regionals. I've seen you in the games. You just bring something to the table. So I'd love to see that happen again. If you feel like you're up to it, if you feel like that's what you want to do.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I have to, right now I'm just trying to focus on healing up. And then if I feel like that's the right thing to do and it's inside of me to do it again, then, I don't see why not.
Yeah, well, you got to get the love for it. The love has to be
exactly.
There. And that's,
I still feel like I have the love for it.
Yeah.
It's about priorities for me right now. Like if I feel like I can handle that without my son having to suffer at all, then I will do it. Like like he's number one now. Like I can't put anything above him, and I don't want to.
Which is what you had to do for the 7 years of training for the CrossFit.
Exactly.
You have to put yourself and what you're training with ahead of everything.
Exactly. So now I'm trying to figure out if it is possible for me to put in the work that I know that it takes to be at that level, and still have, my son be perfectly happy. So it's something I'm figuring out, and I'm just excited about it all.
Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, sounds like you got a lot going, a lot of really good stuff happening for you right now. I mean, what is so getting into that grind? I mean, into grind mode with the games. I mean, a lot of times people say, oh, I want to get fit. What's the difference between fitness and competitive training?
Oh my gosh.
There's a lot of confusion because a lot of people
are like, oh yeah, I work out every day and I'm healthy and I'm eating good, and I'm just like, that's not enough. Like, you have to, like, going to the games, your fitness goes to a level of like unhealthy, kind of.
Well, that's what I tell people a lot.
So,
I'm not sure how healthy competitive training is. I said, if you just want to get fit and you want to be healthy, then training 4 to 5 days a week, an hour a day, eating healthy, that'll get you there.
Yeah.
Right? But if you want to train and if you're talking about going to the games or going to compete at an elite level, you're talking about something completely different, and I'm not even sure how healthy that is.
Yeah. And I'm not going to talk for everyone, but for me, I know that my body at that level, like, my joints hurt here and there, like things start to hurt. You have to do so much recovery stuff on the back end.
Yep.
Like, once you get home, like, it's not done. Like, now you have to do all the recovery stuff. You sit there and you put on your Normatec boots and get massaged on your legs. You have your gun out, just like getting all the spots that are hurting. You have to ice things or heat things, or you're eating so much. Like, if you're not sleeping or eating or doing recovery, you're working out. Like, that's it.
That's your life. Yeah, no. And that's
I don't know. I think maybe if you do have enough time and have literally nothing else to do, then maybe you could be on the healthy scale. But who really keeps up with that?
No, it's
like,
hard.
It's really hard.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And you mentioned you're eating a lot, you're doing all this stuff to put the calories in because you're burning all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
How does your diet change when you're getting ready for competition? Does it change a lot? I
was eating like 400, 450 carbs.
Okay.
Which
that's
I'm like nowhere near that right now.
Yeah.
But and you're still hungry.
Yeah.
Like, you just have to eat so much. I mean, a lot of people, different bodies fuel different ways. Like, some people fuel well off of like really high fat. But mine was more carbs, and I had to eat.
That's in line with most people. I'm going to say, go out on a limb and say most people are more fueled by carbs than they are the fat content. Unless your body, you go into the whole keto thing and change your system a little bit. But, it's definitely, carbs, that's the one thing that really shows. And the right carbs, though. You don't just want to put in a bunch of cakes and crap.
No.
You
And that's the hard thing, too. You're like over here pounding rice or sweet potatoes or something just to try to get to your numbers.
Making a rice shake or something. Like, why am I drinking?
Oh, totally. I mean, I used to be able to eat so much. My husband and I went out to sushi the other night, okay? Uh-huh. I used to eat almost 4 to 5 rolls myself. And I barely finished 2 the other night. Like, barely. And my husband helped me.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe how much I used to eat.
Comparatively to what's going on now.
Yes, I
you're
used
not
to
trained like you were.
Yeah. I know, but it was just like shocking to like just see it right in front of you of how much I really was training, like so much.
Well, yeah. And were you doing a carb backloading kind of thing at that time, or were you just kind of just whenever you felt like eating, you would just eat?
No, I had like macros that I would try to hit every day. Yeah. And if I didn't hit it, then, I could feel it the next day. Like, I always was trying to get enough food in. It was never like trying to cut at all.
Yeah. So it was always just trying to push it in there. Because by the time you get, I always told people, because I come from, like I told you earlier, a little bit of an endurance background. Mm-hmm. And I always tell people, eat often, while you're moving.
Mm-hmm.
It's something, because by the time you get hungry, by the time you get calorically deficient, it's over. It's too late. You'll never catch back up again.
Yeah. No, I was just like that. I was always trying to get get enough in. And you know what? I look back on those days and I'm like, man, that sounds like a lot of fun. But back when I was doing it, I was like having the hardest time.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No doubt. What got you into cross? I mean, we talked about a lot of stuff. We talked about, I mean, you're definitely, an elite athlete, awesome competitor. What got you? Were you always into fitness, or was this something that just kind of, some people get into it for a reason. They just say, hey, you know what? I need to focus on something else. They get into fitness, or is it something you came from?
No, my dad had me in his home gym when I was like a toddler.
Okay, so that's big into fitness.
My dad was like a bodybuilder.
Okay.
And not like he didn't like compete or anything like that. He just really liked to lift weights in his garage. Anyways, I remember like he had this a child-size like leg extension machine.
Uh-huh.
And he would do that with me when I was like 8 years old, and he'd be like, "You're going to be kicking goals from half the field."
Okay.
And he just got me really into fitness and working out and doing every kind of sport imaginable when I was young. And I don't know, I really, really took to it, and it kept me busy and keeps you out of trouble. And
oh yeah, well, there's a huge correlation with, if kids are active. I mean, kids don't go outside anymore. That's one of the things I'm kind of like, it's rough. They spend time playing video games. I'm like, they're like playing sports on video games. I'm like, why don't you go out and play?
And try it. Yeah, I know.
For real. It's a whole different ball game.
I know. I plan on being really proactive about that with my son, because I've thought about the same thing.
Yeah. And they're healthier when they're, I remember getting thrown out of the house at first thing in the morning. Get out, go, we don't want to see you till lunchtime. And then lunchtime, we don't want to see you till the lights come on outside.
Yeah, I think there's a couple benefits to that.
Oh, there's a huge benefit to that. I mean,
for your mom, too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, nowadays, I don't even know if you can do that. That might not be legal anymore.
Seriously, I know. You're going to have like a backyard with huge walls that you can just send them out.
Exactly. There's a name for it. It's called free range parenting. They call it.
Yeah.
They just called that parenting when I was growing up, but it's a little different. I just want to go into a couple quick last. You got to go. I don't want to hold you up. Do you remember what your first CrossFit workout was?
Oh, geez.
First one you ever tried?
First one I ever did that I can remember had deadlifts. Okay. And it also had ring rows.
Okay.
I remember that because I remember it being. Oh, I think it had pull-ups in it too.
Okay.
And it
wasn't a benchmark or anything. It was just
no. It wasn't a benchmark. It was a benchmark for my gym, though.
Yeah. Okay.
They had everybody that started do that workout.
Okay, to see where you're at physically before moved on into the classes. It was probably part of their foundation on-ramp class. Okay.
Yeah, and it kicked my butt, and I just remember being like, "What the heck?" Like, I go to the gym every single day and crush myself. Plus, I was running like 6 or 7 miles every single day. Yeah. But yet, this CrossFit workout like crushed me.
The crap out of it. And that was my experience too.
And I didn't like that. I was like, no way, I gotta try this. Like, it lit a fire in me. I was like, okay, this is like a whole different fitness. Like, I gotta work on this. Yeah. So that's kind of where it started. I just got my butt kicked, and I decided to, I had to eat it.
but you see that a lot, though. People come in and they get their ass kicked by the first workout that they ever do. They're laying on the ground, and one of two things happens at that point, right? You get either come back and say, I gotta really get in. You fall in love with it. Like, you drink the Kool-Aid, so to speak, and you get into CrossFit. It's like someone's told me that CrossFit's the exact opposite of Fight Club. Rule number 1 of CrossFit: always talk about CrossFit.
Yeah, I know. CrossFitters are pretty vocal about their sport.
Oh yeah. But it's awesome. It gets the sport. You know, it means to me, it just means they're very enthusiastic and want, you know, and really love what they're doing. So they either drink the Kool-Aid at that point, or you run away and never come back.
Yeah. No, for sure. I get that. That's why I always tell people who are starting CrossFit now, I'm like, just make sure you take that first workout, just kind of cruise, like, don't kill yourself on it, because I want you to stick around.
Yeah, because like I said, I remember my first workout was Fran. I just happened to come into the gym the day they were doing Fran.
Oh, perfect.
And it was like, okay, and it was no CrossFit that isn't here anymore, because, you know, sometimes they pop up, they go away, they call, you know, other ones pop up. But I remember walking in there and I'm like, I'm an endurance athlete. I'm you know, running at an elite level. You know, I'm going to crush this, right? I went. Fran took me like 9 minutes, and I was killed by it.
Yeah.
And I was laying on the ground going, Jesus, what the hell just happened? And I thought I came in here with like an ego and everything, and I'm like, I just got my ass kicked. And that's what I kind of said. I really need to get better at this. This will help me, because I definitely need work here.
So it's a perfect example.
What's your last? I'll just go out here. What's your favorite CrossFit workout? Let's say benchmark. What's your favorite benchmark? Just so we.
I really like Linda.
Okay.
I also like Grace.
Yeah, Grace is one of my favorites.
Yeah, Grace is my favorite. I recently did that after I had the baby, and just because I like that workout, and I've done Linda too. You know what? Not too bad. I mean, the fastest I think I've ever done Grace was like
minute 30.
Yeah, I think it was a minute 32 actually.
Okay. Yeah.
Somewhere right in there.
I was just guessing around there, because I'm figuring that sounds about right for.
Yeah,
you know,
I think it was a minute 32. And then I did it was like 2:40 something.
Okay.
So I was
still really good.
Yeah, but the weirdest thing, like I thought my arms were going to like give out, because I hadn't been doing any arm stuff.
Yeah.
My legs. I was like strict pressing every single one of those, because my legs were like done. It was weird. I was like, this is not normal. But yeah, that's my favorite.
If you're not turning it, it's cool. All right. Well, I mean, are you doing? Are you coaching now, or what are you doing? I know. I think you had a coaching. You were doing a coach program. I just want to put it there for people if they check it out.
I do online programming.
Okay.
And then I also have some one-on-one clients that I take in the gym. I don't advertise or anything. Just people who reach out to me.
Program.
Because I really like it.
Yeah.
I like doing it, and it's enjoyable to me. And, you know, it's not something I do for money by any means. I just really like it. So people who reach out to me, I do it, but I don't.
Yeah, it's not something you do as a business or anything like that. It's more or less just to help out friends or, you know, people you know, and do some programming for them.
Well, no, most of my clients I never knew before.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, they're just people I met on Instagram and stuff like that.
Cool. And it keeps you in the loop.
Yeah, it's fun. I really, really, really love watching people reach their goals. Like thinking about that gets me teary-eyed all the time. Like I just love.
Yeah.
I love that. I love the dream, and I love when people reach it. That's awesome.
It's awesome. Yeah, and you know, I love that too. I love seeing like people come into the gym. The gym I go to, you know, we have a whole kids classes. We got all kinds of stuff going on, and it's cool to see everybody come in. I mean, we got people that are 60 coming in and starting CrossFit, and it's like, you know, I love to see that. To me, it's more impressive. And no offense here, but it's more impressive to see someone who's never worked out before come in and finish a workout than it is to see somebody at the elite level who's, you know, do the same workout, but your body's so conditioned for it. This person is like they just came off the couch.
Yeah, no, I love to see someone push through that like that. Like when you can tell that they're dying, but they're not going to give up.
Yeah, you're not going to die.
Yeah, hopefully.
I used to have a shirt that said, if you see this shirt laying on the ground, pick it up, pull it over the finish line.
That's really good. I like that.
That's what it said. So, but I know you got to go. And I appreciate you coming on. Is there anything, you'd like to put out? Do you have anything going on you want to put out there? Or you just, not so much?
I just that, you guys haven't seen the last of me.
I don't think we have. I honestly don't think we have.
I'm just taking my sweet time and deciding what I want to do. And I think it's going to lead me back to where my heart is, though.
I think so. I honestly, I don't think we've seen the last of Tennil Reed-Beuerlein at the CrossFit Games. I think, I think you're going to take some time. You're going to figure some things out. You're going to figure out how to make it work. And I think we're going to see you back there, and hopefully on the podium.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
That would be awesome. Because like I said, it's you're definitely capable of reaching that point. And going to the games isn't about just getting to the games, like your coach used to tell you. It's about going to win. And but if you fall a little bit short, that's okay. But you got to go there to win. All right.
Totally.
Thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Awesome person. If and when I get back out to Arizona, because I don't really come out there that much anymore, but if I get back out there, maybe we'll do this live.
Perfect. That'd be awesome.
Live interview as well. But I appreciate you taking the time. I'm sorry again for all the time confusion stuff.
Oh, that's okay.
A little slow sometimes. But thank you again, and I look forward to seeing you at the games.
All right, thank you.
All right, be good.
Bye.